And for more on this, let me bring into this conversation Shamsher Chowdhury, former Foreign Secretary of Bangladesh. Ambassador Chowdhury, as always, welcome on India First. Sir, we want to understand from you, how long has Bangladesh tried to have the killer of Bangbandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman extradited from Canada? In fact, one from Canada, one from the United States, sir.
I think he went there sometimes in the 1990s, late 1990s. And what we understood that he had sought asylum in Canada, but the Canadian authorities have never clarified any information on him, whether he has sought asylum or he has been given asylum. They say this is as per their law or as per their practice, they're not obliged to provide information to a foreign country. Now, the issue here is, it is not just any person. It is a person who has been tried in a normal court in Bangladesh, found guilty, convicted of murder, and and so we hear that he's in Canada. Now, this practice of providing shelter to such people, I feel that goes against the principles of rule of law, which the Canadian government has been saying very proudly that we follow rule of law, etc., etc., etc.
Oh, absolutely, sir. And this is after due process of law was followed in Bangladesh. And not just that, Colonel Chowdhury has apparently confessed he killed Bangbandhu.
Yeah, it's the same person. Yeah, Noor Chowdhury is the person in question. You know, our foreign minister has said in his interview that Bangladesh government has been, even at the highest level, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has spoken with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau a number of times on this. And at one time it looked Justin Trudeau was willing to be cooperative, but since then there has been no follow-up from the Canadian side. This has been part of every dialogue Bangladesh government has had with the Canadian government over the last decade or even more than a decade. But the response from the Canadian has been one of silence.
And what has Canada's response been? If requests have been made at every level, whether it's diplomatic or the level of foreign secretary, foreign minister, and Sheikh Hasina, the head of government herself, what's the response from the Justin Trudeau administration?
Well, as far as I understand, and as the foreign minister said in his interview, that we don't provide or disclose information or whether somebody has sought asylum or not. I mean, they're not willing to even state that Mr. Chowdhury is in Canada. But there is evidence that he is in Canada. And the fact that it's like providing shelter to killers, whoever they have killed or whoever the killer is. But in this case, it is the group of people who has not only killed the head of state of Bangladesh in 1975, but also family members, including a young child of 10 or 11 years old.
Shocking.
So would Canada do the same if some Canadian citizen who's carried out a murder in Canada and sought shelter in Bangladesh and we refuse to provide information? Would Canada be happy with that? I don't think so.
And Ambassador, does this reflect Canada's perhaps contempt for other democracies, contempt for due process of law in Asian democracies?
Well, I don't think Canada applies this law for Asia alone. I think they do it for everybody, every country in the world. Now, I remember when I was in our High Commission in Canada in the mid to late 1980s, one incident involving an American convicted killer who was waiting to be executed. He managed to escape from the prison off with the prison van or whatever, and entered Canada illegally. And he was traced out. And the Americans identified him, the Canadians identified him. The Canadians said that, sorry, because he's going to face death sentence in America, we will not hand him over to you. But in that case, the Canadians agreed or accepted that that person is in Canada. And under American pressure, if I remember right, that was way back about 30 years ago. If I remember right, the Canadians finally, under American pressure, agreed to imprison him without parole. So it's like one standard for the United States, something else for Bangladesh or any other country. Now, the American person was just, he was a plain killer. He was convicted of killing some young girl or something like that. But the Canadians, under American pressure, agreed to arrest him and put him behind bars without parole for the rest of his life.
You're absolutely right, sir. And we will track this story very closely. But for joining me here on India First, Ambassador Chowdhury, many thanks.
India's #1 political reporter.
Defines what seems to be happening, vendetta politics. कोई दूध के से धुला हुआ नहीं है.
Unmatched eye, unmatched experience.
The world has changed. My black hair has become grey as well.
And with unmatched passion for the story.
Do not monopolize the conversation.
When it's 100% news that matters. It's News Today with Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Only on India Today TV. India's #1 political reporter.
Defines what seems to be happening, vendetta politics. कोई दूध के से धुला हुआ नहीं है.
Unmatched eye, unmatched experience.
The world has changed. My black hair has become grey as well.
And with unmatched passion for the story.
Do not monopolize the conversation.
When it's 100% news that matters. It's News Today with Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Only on India Today TV. India's #1 political reporter.
Defines what seems to be happening, vendetta politics. कोई दूध के से धुला हुआ नहीं है.
Unmatched eye, unmatched experience.
The world has changed. My black hair has become grey as well.
And with unmatched passion for the story.
Do not monopolize the conversation.
When it's 100% news that matters. It's News Today with Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Only on India Today TV. India's #1 political reporter.
Defines what seems to be happening, vendetta politics. कोई दूध के से धुला हुआ नहीं है.
Unmatched eye, unmatched experience.
The world has changed. My black hair has become grey as well.
And with unmatched passion for the story.
Do not monopolize the conversation.
When it's 100% news that matters. It's News Today with Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Only on India Today TV.